Chargers preseason game 1 is in the books, and the rookies got a lot of playing time for the 2025 draft class. So let's get into what they did in the game, what I liked and what I didn't like, and let's break down their performances from game 1. Let's get into it. The next generation is here. The 2025 draft class got a lot of playing time on Thursday night in the 34-7 game against the Lions in the Hall of Fame game. So let's talk about exactly what this particular draft class did in the Hall of Fame game. And I give you my brief breakdown of what each rookie did, because ironically enough, each rookie in the 2025 class played. It played pretty well, if in totality. Let's just say that we got some critiques and things of that nature, but it definitely is a net positive when it comes down to the draft class and what they did on Thursday night. So I broke down the draft class in its entirety early on, right after the draft. And if you haven't saw that video on the channel, please check that out. So you can kind of reference and go back to what I said about these particular rookies going into the 2025 OTA area in preseason. But getting down to it, as I said last week, if you watch my content regularly, that I don't want to see Omarion happen a whole lot. I think he's going to be a much needed and well utilized asset for this team in the 2025 regular season. So the idea of him playing all together, I was against, in all honesty. Najee Harris is a wild card at this point. So I truly believe in my heart of hearts that he's going to end up being RB1. So him playing in the game, I didn't have a whole lot of, I guess you can say, good feelings about. It's a lot of risk of injury and things of that nature. But Jim Harbaugh did what, smart coaches do. He gave him a series, gave him a couple of carries, and then he took him out. So starting with him as the first round draft pick, he had 2 carries for 9 yards. He probably should have had a touchdown, but Rock Ya-Sin was trying to play for a contract or some extra money. Something was going on with Rock Ya-Sin that he was decided he wanted to be a willing tackler in this particular game. He made a couple of good tackles on the edge, stopping big runs from happening on the edge, and he prevented Mario Hampton from getting in the end zone on the second carry. But overall, what it makeshift line, backups, third strings, and things of that nature, Marion really didn't find a whole lot of room in those 2 carries, in all honesty. But again, I'm not at all worried about this particular, first round pick. I'm not definitely not worried about it at all. I think he's going to be a highly touted fantasy football player, as well as a really good running back and assets for this offense in the regular season. So 2 carries, 9 yards, not really beefing about it. Again, doesn't change my, stance on his grade and then what he is for this team. So not really worried about it all. Save him for the regular season. We don't want to see him much in the preseason at all. Save that wear and tear for the regular season where it really counts. So we'll start with Trey Harris. And again, breaking down and critiquing things. Now, Trey Harris didn't get any catches or any yards in this particular game. He did play quite a bit of snaps, but he wasn't targeted by Trey Lance. Now, I will caveat that by saying this, that the Chargers ran the ball a lot in this particular game. They definitely focused and honed in on the idea of running the football. They ran the football a lot. I think they want to say they had like 23 attempts passing and 35 attempts rushing out of totality of the plays. So it wasn't a whole lot of room, quote unquote, for, excess targets. So Trey Lance wasn't, airing the ball out, like Justin Herbert might if he was playing. So again, not, take it with a grain of salt what Trey Harris was did in this particular facet. But again, he was out there, he was contributing, running routes, looking crisp. And it's a thing of note to say that Justin Herbert has, really been building a lot of rapport with him in practice. So that's what matters. That's really what matters. What he does in the preseason, target or not, you like to see him catch the ball a few times, get into space and kind of get a few things going after the catch, but he didn't have any particular catches in this game. So, and again, it's only the first game, but he was overshadowed by another wide receiver that's going to be on his list. But again, no catches for Trey Harris, but again, not so much worried about it. just to see him get his, I guess you can say his beak wet in a sense when it comes down to his idea of him playing in an NFL game. That was what it all would have mattered, and him really seeing that speed of the NFL game, full circle. So, he played, he was out there, but didn't get any particular. I'm not sure if he got any targets at all, but I definitely didn't catch any balls for no yards. But this is where it begins for me, and I talk about him in a glowing fashion in my preseason preview of this particular draft pick, Jamari Caldwell. Now, I was concerned about the interior O-line and ED line going into the 2025 preseason, right? But Jamari, at least for the defensive side of the ball, calmed my gills a little bit. He definitely calmed me down in a sense where I'm not as worried about the interior D-line as I was going into the season. We lost Poona Ford in the offseason, brought Sierra Tart back. Jamari was an unknown. Otito Obonyo hadn't really popped. We don't know what Naquan Jones and Deshaun Hand are going to do as veterans of this team. Again, their pedigree in previous stops wasn't the best, to the point where I was going to sleep well thinking that they're going to really be that third interior D lineman that was going to be really good against the run. So I was a little worried. But those worries were curbed a lot by seeing Jamari play in this particular preseason game. Now, again, I understand he was going against backups, but his technique, his strength, his run stopping ability, his ability to plug holes and take on double teams in more than one facet. And not only that, but he made three solo tackles in the game, on top of the fact that he just made a lot of good plays from a technique perspective. I mean, we're taking on pulling guards, taking on down blocks, taking on double teams, causing havoc, causing disruptions in the interior O-line for the Lions. He played really well. Now, there's a couple of things he need to clean up. He got washed down a couple of plays. One, I don't think it was his fault. I think the two D linemen next to him got blocked down and into him to knock him off his spot. I mean, hell, you're talking 500 to 600 pounds of man, pushing against you at that point. At some point, the leverage is going to break. I understand that. He is 332 pounds, yes, but you got 4 to 6 linemen pushing against you and a guy trying to block you. Again, you might get washed down a play. So I'm not really, going to crowd with Spielberg in that space, but outside of that, he played really solid. And I just want to see him build on this, because I think that if nothing else, with him and Sierra Tart in the middle of this defense, I think that is going to bode well, assuming they stay healthy. It's going to bode well for this run defense. There was a little bit lacking in 2024. I mean, rightfully so in certain spaces. But if they're going to be on the field and they're going to be the starters, I feel comfortable. The only thing that really gives me pause now is who's going to be the third guy. Out of those 3 guys I named, Otito, Deshaun, and Naquan, who's going to be the third guy? And are they going to play stout, and are they going to be as good as the other 2? If they are, even in rotation and or the guy who's going to start, if they can play as well as those 2 guys, I think the run defense is going to look much better with Thule and Mack on the edge as well. And that 5 front, yeah, I'm liking what they're doing. But hear me when I say Jamari Caldwell played well, and keep eye on him in his next few preseason games as he gets more experience against these linemen. Because I'm looking for him to play this weekend, and after I think they got to go in on their hands. And I was speaking his praises in the preseason when he got drafted. I said he might be special. Watching his combine, watching his film in college, the boy can play ball. I'm surprised that he didn't get any more notoriety and fell to the 3rd round in this draft. I'm very surprised, but he did what he did. He handled his business, and he's a big man moving. I'm here to tell you. All right, so moving on to Cal Kennard, our 4th round pick. Cal Kennard didn't get a lot of action, in all honesty. He played some snaps, but he didn't get a lot of action, especially from a pass rush perspective, where he's really highly skilled at. He had really one really good hustle play. He got cut by the tackle on a screen play, and he got off the cut, got back up, and ran down the screener in the same play. It was a really good hustle play. I like that from him. I like the hustle, I like the effort out of him in that particular space. He did play well in that regard, but again, didn't go a whole lot of action in. And I will say this about the Chargers defense that kind of concerns me from my defensive mind, right? The Chargers play a lot of zone, and what's going to hamper the defense and the pass rush, no matter who's out there, is the fact that if you play a lot of zone, especially a lot of off coverage zone, the quick game is really active for teams. And the Lions did a lot of quick passing in this particular game. And a lot of teams do that against us, did this against us last year in 2024. So with that being said, if you give up a lot of quick passes, that negates your pass rush. Because by the time the defender gets out of his stance, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, the ball is gone. They have no opportunity to get to the ball. No opportunity to get to the quarterback. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. It just physics don't allow for that to happen. If they can get the ball off in 1 or 2 seconds with a quick passing game, because we're playing off coverage and soft zone, then that's going to negate our pass rush. So that's going to not allow for Cal Kennard and Thule and Khalil Mack, whoever's out there, to be able to get upfield and showcase their talents. You got to be able to get up into the offensive players, stop them from getting off quick routes, and allow the pass rush to get home. You got to give them 3 to 4 seconds. If you don't give them 3 to 4 seconds to get off the ball, get into the lineman, and get around the lineman, get to the quarterback, it's not going to be a good day for a pass rush. For the pass rush, it's just not. So I think that he was a benefactor of a lot of that. So if Jesse decides to switch it up in the next preseason game and play a little more, in your face and press coverage, not so much off coverage, then he'll get his opportunities. But I mean, just from a rush perspective, he didn't get a lot of opportunities to rush the pass because the ball came out so fast. So I can't really evaluate him outside of that. But that hustle play was great. So I definitely give him kudos for that. Next up is Keandre Lambert-Smith, the talk of the town. Now, Keandre Lambert-Smith, ladies and gentlemen, KLS for short now. He's got a nickname already. When you got a nickname, that means you're doing big things, right? He made the most of his opportunities. And again, if you watch my preseason coverage in this particular space, I said this very quote. I said, I'm more intrigued about Keandre Lambert-Smith being drafted in the 5th round than I was Trey Harris. And he's proven me right up to this point, because he has been a matchup nightmare for any corner that's been guarding him in camp and in the Lions game. They rolled up on 3rd down, and he got backside man coverage, and he completely obliterated his defender in press man, got free, got open, caught a fade route on the sideline, pretty ball. That was great. And his next target was a quick and nasty slant route that almost buckled the defender that was guarding him's knees and allowed him to catch the ball in stride and score a touchdown. Hey, man, this kid here is one for the ages, and it's going to allow the offense to be better in 2025 because he's going to be able to stretch the field with that 4.3 speed. So, I talked about Keenan Allen, to the depths. So they're bringing Keenan Allen, Lamb McConkey, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and Trey Harris. I'm liking the receiving core. I really am, based upon what they're doing in camp and what they have done in the league already. So the 2 people that are going to be veterans, the 2 rookies, them coupled together. I'm sorry, the other guy I hadn't mentioned, and he might be the odd man out, in all honesty. I'm just going to be real about it. But I love what Keandre did. I had nothing bad to say about him. 6'1", 190-pound receiver with that speed and that wiggle and that release. He's looking like the real deal. And again, I'm very curious, based upon my pre-draft analysis and we was drafted, how he even fell to the 5th round is beyond me. I really don't get it. But he showed up and showed out, and not much bad to say about it at all. So moving on down to the line, who a guy I've been high on as well, as Rondé Gaskin the second. Only 1 target, 1 reception for 7 yards. Again, like I said, they didn't throw the ball a lot, but he was out there. He ran some pretty good routes from what I saw and things of that nature. But again, they didn't give a whole lot of opportunities to even throw the ball. Again, 23 attempts in totality of a 60-minute football game. It's not a lot. So not a lot of opportunities to catch the football. So with that being said, we couldn't get a real good, gander of what he could and could not do, in all honesty. But again, the 1 catch he had was a crisp one. I like what they're building here, and I think that he's going to be a player and a good receiver for them. And you would add that to the 4 I just named. You had a Rondé to that mix and a receiving back, either Amarion or Nyheim Hines out of the backfield. The offense is looking way better in 2025 than it was in 2024. I'm feeling good about that particular aspect of it, so we just got to keep building. Next up is Branson Taylor. Now, of course, Branson, because they ran the ball a lot, he had a whole lot of pass pro reps, didn't get a whole lot of pressure to, give up a sack or not give up a sack, honesty. But I will say this, at 6'6", 321 pounds, the kid's a wall. He's a big, massive human being. And I will say that he is really good at run blocking from what I saw against the Lions. He really is. Now, again, because he's has that frame and that stature, and I'm not sure how agile and athletic he is from a forward perspective, it kind of gives me pause whether or not he's going to be a good pass protector. But in the run game, yeah, strong. If he gets his lean going against you forward, you're done. You're likely done from what I saw. I mean, he was literally, pause if needed, but he was swallowing up defenders in the game. I mean, he would get downhill and start blocking downhill, and the guy would disappear. I seen a couple of plays where the guy disappeared. I'm like, where did the defender go? At Branson Taylor. So again, maybe another hit from Harbaugh, but again, I'm questioning about his ability to, pass protect, but his ability to run block was definitely on display, and I see why they drafted him in the 6th round for sure. All right, and my guy next up on the list, RJ Mickens. Listen, I talked about RJ Mickens to the high heights and deep depths about how good this kid is, and I can't for the life of me understand why he fell to the 6th round. But thank you, analysts and teams that didn't draft him, because the Chargers stole one. You hear me? RJ Mickens is a player, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to tell you this, that a 6th round pick is going to be good on this team, in my opinion. I can't say it enough. I've said it 1,000 times already. I'm gonna say it again, that they stole him. I mocked him several times to the Chargers in the 5th and 6th round, even sometimes 7th, and didn't understand and mocks why he fell that far, and still don't understand to this day why he fell that far, because there's a lot of teams out there could use a really good safety. But hey, he's a Charger, he's here, and I'm going to say it again, he's going to take Aloya Gilman's spot on his team. Elijah Molden, RJ Mickens, and Derwin James are going to be starting 3 safeties, in my opinion. RJ can play. He made a solo tackle on the running back when they got the play I talked about when Jamari got washed down. It was a big running play about to pop. He made a solo tackle to save the touchdown. One play, I saw him break on the ball and make a really good cover one Robert a play against the receiver to stop a bigger play from a slant route that was going to make big yards. He made a tackle there. 3 tackles in total, 2 solos. Listen, the kid has instincts. He reads the quarterback well. He's really good in coverage. So I would argue once he really gets acclimated, him playing in that deep half or third of this particular defense is going to be a good thing. With that stature, that frame, that speed, again, a true hybrid cover safety, and learning from Derwin James is nothing but a bonus. Nothing but a bonus. So RJ Mickens played well. I'm going to keep watching him, keep hoping he builds on what he did in this particular game, and I feel like the sky's the limit for this kid. I'm really high on him. So watch out for RJ Mickens going forward. And lastly is Triquez Bridges. Triquez had 2 tackles in this game. It was overshadowed by Nico Reed and Miles Purchase and those guys getting picks. But yeah, definitely made some solid tackles in the game. I'm wondering about Triquez. I just feel like he might be the odd man out. It might be a practice squad player. I said that before and I'll say it again. It's just not enough room for him. I think he needs time to develop. I think he has good intangibles, good athleticism. He just might need time. He might need time. I think that he making some solid tackles in this particular game was a good thing, to show you that he's willing to play the edge and not scared to get his nose dirty. But I just don't know. I just don't know if there's any room for him. I mean, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Dean Leonard, Josiah Taylor, Nico Reed's popping, Miles Purchase is popping. We got Dante Jackson, Cam Hart in series still already. So, where does he fit? I'm just not sure. I mean, again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on his evaluation because I'm just not sure exactly if he's going to be part of the 53-man roster this year. Maybe next year, but maybe not this year, depending on how things break. So we'll see. But I mean, again, I like the kid's physicality, how he, really wanted to get his hands dirty in this game and show what he can do. So there you have it, man. But yeah, the rookies did their thing, man. We got another game coming up this weekend. It's going to be another interesting one. Got 3 more games to go in evaluation. So hopefully the rookies can really get their, experience level up and their jitters out of their way and get ready for the NFL season. And hopefully we can stay healthy. Nobody gets hurt. And, we can roll right into the season and get ready for the Chiefs week 1, man. So things are looking up, man. But stay tuned to more content throughout this week, man. We're going to break everything down. I'll probably do a preview on a preseason game, what we should look for in that game, and how we can build on Thursday night's game, and we'll get things rolling there. But as always, man, if you're looking for the channel, Electric Shock Pod on all platforms, hit that subscribe button if you have not done so, to let the algorithm know we're doing big things out there, trying to grow this channel to higher heights and deeper depths, man. I appreciate everybody that's been holding us down thus far, all the comments, all the likes, all the return users, return viewers. So appreciate that. As always, man, hit me up anytime on social if you got any questions about Chargers news. And you got to do one thing well, man. You always got to remember to bolt up.